Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're good. I know this time period is just a bit weird, it's strange. We're in April, but March kind of just felt weird. I'm not even sure what the rest of the month is going to look like, but trying to stay as positive as possible. I've been training at home. I've been doing a lot of home training. I haven't been to the gym in about 3 weeks. So I've been posting a lot of my workouts actually on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen quite a few of my home workouts I've been doing. This is my living room. It's not that big. The irony is this all happened before I was about to move. So you will notice a lot of things like the tempo will be different because that's always what I do. I'll try and give you the sets and the reps on the description as well. And then I'll just talk you through the workout. So what I'm going to do now is, as always, we're going to start with an awesome warm up, just because it doesn't matter what you're training, you should always warm up. Okay, so I actually filmed the workout after the intro, hence why, so you guys know that it actually works. So I did the intro and now I'm going to take you through every single one of the exercises and kind of explain some of the reasons behind them, etc. So we're going to start first with the Cossack squats. Now, I absolutely love this movement. This exercise is an awesome one. If you don't have very good hip mobility, you might struggle slightly with this. However, if you saw like the warm-up we did, there was a reason for that, because that should have helped primed your hips to perform this movement. Try and keep your torso as upright as possible. Taking my hands out in front of me helps me keep a balance and keep my torso up. You will lean forward slightly as you go down into the squat, but that is absolutely fine as long as you're not rounding your lower back and your upper back as well, actually. So try as much as possible to remember, chest up, brace your core. This is a great movement for your hamstrings as well, and it helps improve ankle mobility. So sometimes if you can't do this, it probably is your ankle mobility, but it's a great workout for your glutes and your hamstrings. And also you can use a backpack. With my backpack, I put my 2-liter jug of water in there and all the gym stuff I carry around with me, all the equipment I put in there, some books as well underneath. So you can do that. Everyone has a backpack. So if you want to add a bit more resistance, use a backpack. Before we carry on, I'd like to give a special shout out to my sponsors, Whoop, for sponsoring this video. Whoop is a fitness tracker that I've been using for a while. If you've watched my videos, you know about them. It is a tracker that helps track my sleep, track my recovery, also helps to track how hard you're training, how hard you're pushing yourself, and it also gives you goals. So it tracks your recovery and then it gives you goals for what to aim for in terms of strain. And it's 24/7, you can wear it 24/7, you wear it to sleep, wear it to shower, it's waterproof. If you swim in it, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, check them out. I'll put my discount code OBI onto my description box and a link as well. So yeah, check them out. Back to the video. So next we have squats and Bulgarian split squats. So these are two exercises, supersets. The first one is a tempo squat. Now, the reason why every single one of these you will see are slow is because of time on the tension. If you follow my YouTube, you will know that that is key. So you want to make sure that you follow the tempo. Because we aren't using a lot of load, we need to keep the muscle under tension as much as possible, especially during this period where we don't have the resistance. So stick to the tempo. I'm going to write the tempo down for you. So aiming for about a 3 to 4 second tempo, about a 1 to 2 second pause at the bottom, and 2 second up. So I'm not coming up as quick as I can. Normally you would do that when you have a barbell on your back. So again, keeping the muscle under tension. If you watch, a lot of people, when they see my leg my squats especially, they think that I'm fully extending my knees. So I'm going to show you quickly. I like to contract my quads before I go down into a squat. Now, does this mean, so that is my knees flexed. However, if I do this, as you can see, my knees are not fully extended. They are, yeah, can you see that? So a lot of times when people see me do squats, when I come all the way up here, they think that I'm fully extended at the top. I'm not. I'm actually keeping my knees bent. What I'm doing, the trick to flexing your quad is, if you drive your feet down to the floor and externally rotate slightly, that would activate your glutes, which is how you should be squatting anyway, and that would automatically engage your quads. So if you look at the difference, look at the difference? And I'm flat-footed, so I have to do this often, but it's just small things like that. Drive your feet down to the floor and rotate your quads would automatically get them engaged. And then what you want to do is just squeeze as hard as you can, and then try and keep that contraction all the way down. You will find that it's so much harder to do that. So if you guys have always wondered how I always do that without fully extending my knees at the top, that's the trick. With the Bulgarian split squats as well, tempo is key. Watch the tempo on this one. I like to, again, I don't fully extend at the top, so my knees are not fully extended at the top. Nice and slow down on the eccentric, and then maintaining that upright chest position. Again, putting your arms out will help you keep your chest up, brace your core, keep your core engaged. When a lot of people struggle with mobility on Bulgarian split squats, it's because your core is not engaged. Remember this. And now for both of these, you can use a backpack to add more resistance to make this even harder. Now with every one of these single exercises, what's great about this is you can play around with the tempo, play around with it. 6 seconds down, 2 seconds down, 6 seconds up. So play around with tempo, play around with sets, because now is the best time for you to actually learn how to do this and learn mind muscle control as well. So remember this, when you're doing every single one of this now, and this is where it's all going to count. So every time you've been using a barbell, you had the advantage of that heavy load, heavy weight, so you automatically will prep yourself to do that movement. Now that there isn't heavy load, you need to learn how to prepare yourself and to make that, what I say is train with intention every single rep, every single set. So next we have pistol squats. Now, I know a lot of you might not be able to do pistols, so I'm going to give you 3 different ways you can do pistols now. So the first one is hill elevated pistols. I'm using a book, a hardcover book, or you can use a ab mat or a handstand mat. So if you do CrossFit, a lot of you will know what that is if you have one at home. I'll show you what that looks like. It looks like this. So you can use one of those if you have one to elevate your heels, but you can also use a book. Now, pistol squats, if you don't have great ankle mobility, it is really difficult. However, once you do get the ankle mobility, after you use these 3 progressions I'm going to show you, you should try and add these into your routine now more than ever, because they are great for your hamstrings and your glutes. Now with the book, it makes it slightly easier. And then if you struggle with doing it with the book, you can use a chair or a bench, whatever you have at home. And you can then do almost like a box squat with this pistol. So I call it box pistols. So you go all the way down and you get back up just like you would do a normal pistol, except this way is slightly easier than doing an elevated heel pistol. However, if you struggle with doing a seated pistol, a great alternative is almost like a split stance pistols. I like to call it a reverse pistol. You are having both feet on the ground. However, one of them is your heels down on the floor, your toes elevated. So very similar to a split squat. So what that means is the leg, that's the feet that's on the ground is the one that you're actually working. So if you watch the video carefully, you would see that. So the one where my feet's firmly on the floor, that's the leg that I'm working. So the one where my toes are pointing upwards, it's just there as an assistance, but I am actually focusing on the leg, on the opposite leg. So just bear that in mind. So those three are great exercises that you can add. So whichever you find that's easier for you to do, add those into your training. What you can do is start with the split stance or the reverse pistols, and then for the second set, try just the box pistols, and then third set, try and do a heel elevated pistol if you feel 100% comfortable doing that. And then eventually, maybe you might be able to do a full pistol without the elevation. However, if you can do the heel elevated pistols, stick to that. They are awesome. So next we have single leg hip thrust. With a single leg hip thrust, I like to not fully go down to the floor. So some people like to go all the way down to the floor and like their glutes touch the floor. I like to not do that. When coming up, I always, every single rep, squeeze my glutes like it owes me money. Glutes and hamstrings. Once you squeeze your glutes, your hamstrings get involved anyway. So try and focus on squeezing your glutes at the top of that movement. And another tip is you can actually go onto your heels. So drive up with your heels, get your toes off the floor. If you prefer, you would actually feel that a lot more than when you are doing it with both feet down on the floor. So I would show you a quick demo just to, so on the floor. So what you want to do is get your heels off and drive up. Yeah, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your hamstrings. So next we have the split squats. Now this is an awesome one for your hamstrings and your glutes as well. So making sure to stick to that tempo, torso upright, make sure you brace your core before you go down into the exercise. I like to squeeze my glutes and my hamstrings as hard as I can when I come up. However, make sure you're not fully flexing your knees at the top, because then you're still keeping your quads engaged. This is a great exercise, not only for your hamstrings and your glutes, but your quads as well. So just remember this. Remember to pay attention to the tempo, nice and slow. Focus on every single rep, make them count. Next we have the curtsy lunge. This is one that I know a lot of guys tend not to do, but a lot of girls do them. It's very similar to a reverse lunge, however you are crossing over back when you go all the way back, as you can see in the video. And again, making sure you focus on using your glutes and your hamstrings to bring you all the way back up. So when you go down into the lunge, squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings as hard as you can and keep holding that tension till you come all the way back up. Your glutes should be on absolute fire when you do this, and your hamstrings. If you want to develop the most amazing legs, trust me, train your hamstrings and your glutes. If you notice with this workout, I have a lot more hamstrings and glute stuff than I do quads. A lot of guys neglect their hamstrings and their glutes. Trust me, it makes a huge difference when you're training. Your power as well, that's if you watch a lot of athletes, especially sprinters, their power comes from their hamstrings and their glutes. A lot of strong people you would find have the strongest hamstrings and glutes. So focus on that. If you want to improve on your squats when you get back into the gym, focus on your hamstrings and your glutes, and it will make your legs big. It's similar to the triceps. I always try and use triceps, your arms as an example for your legs. If you have big triceps, it makes your arms look bigger. If you have big hamstrings and glutes, it will make your legs look bigger. So you don't just want your quads to look impressive, you want it to be an all-rounder. And I find a lot of guys neglect the posterior chain, so which is especially the hamstrings and glutes. Finishing off with heel elevated narrow stance squats. Now this is absolute killer. We are going to be supersetting this. So I started up with weighted with my backpack. If you don't have one, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. So you're going to start with a very, very slow tempo actually on this. With the hill elevated, if you watch, I am not fully going down all the way. So I'm probably stopping about a 90 degree or just slightly lower because I'm trying to keep the tension on my quads. This is predominantly focusing on quads down. You want to keep that tension on your quads, a nice and slow eccentric. Now, if you watch at the top, I am squeezing my quads like it owes me money. I'm squeezing as hard as I can. I'm not actually extending at the top. Remember when I talked about this, I'm not extending at the top. I'm just squeezing my quads, keeping that contraction, even when I squat all the way down. And I'm just trying to keep that contraction, and all the muscle wants to do is relax, but you're keeping it on as much tension, under as much tension as possible. And then what will happen is after you finish about 10 reps, I take the backpack off and do another 10, but as quick as I can. So do it quick as you can till failure. So just keep going, even when you feel like you want to stop, keep going, and then keep going till failure. This one's an absolute killer if you do it right. It's because your legs will be fried from all this workouts we've done. And then to finish off with that is kind of like a nail in the coffin for your legs. The last one will be calf raises, of course. Now, you can actually, if you watch in the video, I'm just doing them as normal calf raises, but you can use a book if you want to elevate yourself slightly. If you watch as well, I am holding the contraction for about 2 to 3 seconds at the top of the movement to keep that contraction and nice and slowly down. Okay, so remember this. So contract at the top, squeeze your calves as hard as you can, nice and slowly down. Use a backpack as well to add a bit more load to hold it onto the side that you're working. If you notice, I'm doing one leg, single legs. I don't do double, so I do one leg at a time, just to put as much load and weight onto that one side as possible. So you're thinking, wow, that is quite tough. That is a lot. We're not actually done. If you follow my training, you will know that we're not done. So we're going to do a bye-bye legs finisher. And now what this is a nice conditioning to help you. If you thought that you've actually pushed your legs, this will even make it worse. So we're going to do a very quick one. It's 21, 15, 9 squats, bodyweight squats, and jumping lunges. So 21 reps on the squats, 21 reps on the jumping lunges, 15, 15, 9, 9, done. Now, and if you've done this leg workout properly, that should not be nice. You know, this is all about, in my opinion, what matters a lot when you train is that overload in the muscle, that progressive overload. What are you going to do now to challenge the muscle? Now you don't have the weight. You have to find small things like the tempo, small things like adding that extra bit of conditioning, small things like going till failure. You don't have to do it every single time, but little things like that make a huge difference just to put that muscle under load and just to keep going till we can get back into the gym and add some more weight. Now, I know a lot of people are wondering if you can get huge legs just doing bodyweight stuff. No, I'm sorry. Like, I would be a liar if I told you that you could. You do need weight. I have dumbbells here and that's still not enough. But for the time being, as this is quite temporary, bodyweight stuff using backpack to add load is fine. It's something you can do, and this is something you can do at home. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. This was a tough one. I enjoy challenges like this. This has made me step out of my comfort zone, maybe to step out of what I'm used to be creative with my workouts. So hopefully you enjoy this. I do have a bodyweight ebook as well, so check that out on my website. You can get a sample workout to see if it's something that you would like. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Leave a comment below. If you have any feedback, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer it. It was weird filming this in the living room. It was weird filming this in the house, but it wasn't too bad. So I will be probably filming a few more as well to come. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out.